In 2024, the charity Lepra is marking a century of work addressing leprosy in the world. The charity was founded in 1924 and works for people affected by leprosy, especially those who are marginalised and underserved. Today, Lepra works in India and Bangladesh. Many people don't know that leprosy is entirely curable thanks to a multi-drug therapy that's available for free for anyone who is diagnosed. Lepra was instrumental in developing the first cure for leprosy in the 1940s. However, leprosy continues to be a pressing issue, with millions still affected and the numbers rising, underscoring the critical need for continued innovation and support. Now, on the eve of their centenary, Lepra is looking ahead to what it can do to accelerate progress towards the elimination of leprosy in the world. The centenary celebrations include a winter appeal, which is going on now, and is a match funding campaign that promises to double every pound donated, amplifying the impact and reach of the charity's efforts. Particularly poignant is their work in India. We are joined today by the Lepra CEO in India, Prasant Kumar, who will be discussing community work and the unique challenges faced in the region. His insights highlight the necessity of a holistic approach that goes beyond medicine to restore dignity and self-esteem to those affected. We're also joined by Jimmy Innes, the CEO of Lepra in the UK, to tell us more about the charity and its work. Thank you both so much for joining us today. And Jimmy, if we could start with you, please. Leprosy continues to be a global challenge. How is Lepra working internationally to address this issue?
Yes, thank you. And you're right, leprosy is still a global challenge. There's a common misconception, especially in this country, when I go around and talk to various people about leprosy and about the work we do. People are like, leprosy, is it still a thing? I thought it was like a disease of the past. But no, it's still very much a disease of the present. There are about 20 countries which are endemic for leprosy in the world. And India, and we're joined by Prasant today, who leads our work in India. India has by far the highest burden of leprosy cases in the world. Globally, there are about 200,000 cases diagnosed every year, and 130,000 of those are in India. And we estimate, those are just the ones that are diagnosed, yeah? And we estimate that every one case that's diagnosed, there's at least one more that isn't. And those are also a big challenge to us and to everybody, because if you don't know where the leprosy is, then you can't provide the support and treatment for the person. So that's one of the biggest challenges we face. Another misconception, which is common, again, because we don't hear much about leprosy in the UK, leprosy is entirely curable. The drugs are available for free via the World Health Organization and national governments. It's a multi-drug cocktail. You take a mixture of different pills for either 6 or 12 months. And as a result of that, you are cured of your infection. You no longer have leprosy. And that's really important to recognize. But it is a challenge, because the trick is identifying the cases early enough to enable to get people access to those treatments. And the problem with leprosy is it's a slow burner. I could get infected today, but I may not show any signs or symptoms for 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years. The initial symptoms are, they're not really worrying. You lose feeling in your fingers and toes, you get numbness on your skin. And so people don't generally seek treatment at that point. It's only when the feeling gets worse, the lack of feeling gets worse, and then you can get secondary infections. So I could burn my hand on the stove, or I could step on a thorn. And that small wound, because I can't feel it, can fester and eventually become an ulcer. And so the more damage you get to your nervous system with the leprosy being in your body for a longer time, the more likely you are to get secondary infections and as a result experience physical disabilities as a result of your leprosy infection. So a lot of the work we do is to try and get those cases identified as early as possible. And we have to go out looking for them. We can't rely on people presenting to a health clinic. We have to do what we call active case finding. Once we have been able to identify the cases, we ensure people get access to the treatment as early as possible to prevent the likelihood of any debilitating impacts, physical or mental or disability as a result of their infection. And enable people to get cured of their leprosy. But then that's only half of the challenge, because if you've been diagnosed with leprosy and cured of it, you still live with the lifelong impacts of it. And you are discriminated against in society. It's one of the most highly prejudiced against diseases ever in the whole history of humanity. And a positive diagnosis of leprosy puts someone in a very difficult prejudiced against position within their communities. As an organisation, we provide ongoing support to those people, peer support groups, counselling support, access to livelihoods, inclusion in society, and that becomes a very important part of our work as well.
Thanks, Jimmy. And Prasant, over to you. Can you share your insights into Lepra's community work in India, particularly how it's tailored to address the unique challenges and needs in the region?
We work in about 142 districts in 10 states. India has about 806 districts. And these 10 states are highly endemic, where most of these cases come from every year, new cases. Our work, community work in India is carried out through four main pillars. One is around raising awareness that leprosy is completely curable, addressing the issues around biases, prejudices, stigmas, ensuring equity, inclusion, and a life of dignity. The second one, which is very important, is active case finding. So if you detect the case between 6 to 9 months, it's completely reversible. There will be no permanent damage to nerves or disability. So it's key. And third is disability management and treatment of the people who have already been affected and they have to live with disability because it was detected a little later than 9 months. To working on socio-economic rehabilitation for providing a dignified livelihood to these people who have been released from treatment of leprosy. So around awareness, we work with the community affected by leprosy, helping them to form and with self-support groups. They provide psychosocial support to each other, work with each other to access the entitlements that the local authorities provide. We show films around addressing the stigma, discrimination, and what leprosy is in simple terms in the remote villages through our mobile van. We do community theatres to dispel myths and prejudices. We work with schools, children. We work with the teachers. We work with the local elected representatives at the village level. We work with the, of course, frontline grassroots worker of both Lepra and government for ensuring that the awareness is there and we are all on the same page. In terms of active case finding, the most important bit is about visiting and referring the suspected cases to the government facilities, doing focal survey of the contacts from the person who has been detected with leprosy. Treatment and disability management mostly revolves around physiotherapy, ulcer treatment, providing appropriate customized footwear, because footwear is a very important part of treatment of leprosy. Advocacy, we do work with government of the local authority or state or government of India to ensure if there is any policy or law which is discriminatory or negatively affecting the people affected with leprosy, and sometimes ensure also to bring in some positive policy or laws to help these people affected with leprosy to live a life of dignity.
Excellent. And another question for you, please, Prasant. How does Lepra help to change perceptions and improve the lives of those affected by leprosy in India?
Yeah, so this is perception is difficult to change. It's a very slow process, and it's a continuous process for us, and we have to continue at it for a few more years. We have come a long way, but still a while to go. So one of the elements which I was talking to you in the earlier was awareness raising and mass awareness campaigns around some of the important days like birthday of Gandhi or World Leprosy Day. They're working with the affected people themselves. There is an organization which Lepra over the years facilitated, and it's quite a powerful organization in India. It's called Association of People Affected with Leprosy. They have branches in all the states where Lepra works. Working with the local authorities and political representatives, that's very important to address because they are one of the means of influencing the perception at the local level. To lead by example, Lepra internally has a policy of, as far as possible, employing the people who have been released from treatment of leprosy within our leprosy programs across all the states where you're working. There is an element of research. So Lepra has a research institute called Blue Peter health research center, which was funded again from an appeal of BBC many years ago, 25 years ago. So this is some of our work that we currently do to address to change the perception.
Excellent. And Jimmy, back to you, please. Looking at Lepra's 100-year journey, how do you see the organisation evolving in the future?
Yeah, so for us, it's all about what can we do to support accelerated progress towards the elimination of leprosy. The world is on a trajectory, on a target to try and eliminate leprosy. It's an ambitious target. It's unlikely to be achieved in the next decade or 2 decades or more. But we see our role as doing all that we can to help get there as fast as possible. And for us, success is a world where we needed no more. And that would be a wonderful thing, where leprosy is no longer a public health concern in the world. And that's what we strive to achieve. So next year, as well as celebrating our centenary and looking back over all the wonderful things we've been able to achieve and support on, and the great progress the world has made with regards to leprosy care and treatment and support over 100 years, we're also going to be looking forward to our next phase. We'll be launching our new global strategy for 6 years up until 2030. We're going to be having a renewed focus on research and innovation. Our thoughts go that we need to find ways of doing things better treatments, better cures, better ways of support to help accelerate progress towards those targets. So we're going to have a stronger research agenda in the coming years. And for us, as I say, we're 99 years old right now. If we're around for another 99 when we're doing something terribly wrong, our approach is to work as fast as possible to achieve that world where we only needed no more.
That's great. And if you could take the last question as well, please. With the winter appeal and the match funding campaign underway, and Lepra's Shine a Light on Leprosy appeal in January, can you discuss the impact of public support on Lepra's mission and what new initiatives it might enable?
Absolutely. And I think the first thing to say is that without that public support, the public support is what enables us to do the work we do. Leprosy is known as a neglected tropical disease, or NTD. And one of the reasons why it's neglected is that people don't fund it. People don't fund support and treatment and care and research and innovation. And so we are very lucky to have a strong supporter base here in the UK of people, individuals from all walks of life who buy into our cause and our mission and support us in our work. And so without that support, we wouldn't be able to do the kind of things that Prasant's been talking about here today. This winter we have our winter appeal. It's running from now through until the end of January, which is our centenary and World Leprosy Day. And it's a match funding appeal. So for every £1 that someone donates, we've got some other donors lined up who are going to match that £1. So each £1 turns into 2, has twice the impact, twice the results that we can get from it. And if anybody's interested, A, just to learn more about leprosy, or B, to learn more about our organisation Lepra, or if possible to make a donation towards that match funding appeal to fund the work that we do in the communities of India, then they can visit our website at www.lepra.org.uk. That's Lepra, Lepra, so lepra.org.uk. And that will take you to our homepage, where there's lots of information about leprosy, about our organisation, our history and our work, as well as if people are interested or willing, then they can follow the links there to make a donation on the webpage.
Prasant Kumar, CEO of Lepra in India, and Jimmy Innes, CEO of Lepra in the UK. That was great. Thank you so much.